I'm Rachel.
The room fell into a deathly silence as I revealed the damning evidence on the screen. Dale, my father, stood up abruptly, his chair crashing to the floor. What is she doing here? He barked at Emily, the woman my brother Mark was supposed to marry. She's unstable. I ignored him and walked towards the table. You just committed wire fraud, Mark. Federal charges, I said firmly. Before Mark could utter a word, Dale slammed a stack of court papers on the table. She's having a psychotic break. That's a signed court order. She hacked your system and has been stalking him. I'm calling the police. His voice shook with fury as he dialed the number. The lawyer stepped back, and Emily hesitated. That moment of hesitation scared me more than the threat of arrest. While Dale shouted into the phone, I calmly walked to the console and took out a USB drive from my pocket. The screen lit up with raw data. Keep them on the line, I said. You'll need them. I split the display. Look, Mark's financial statement claims $485,000 in reserves. But the live bank verification shows a different story. And look at the font. The bank uses Helvetica, but Mark used Arial. He pasted fake numbers over a huge deficit. Silence enveloped the room. Dale tried to defend himself.
She forged this.
And here's the motive. He was about to continue, but I opened another file. A $50,000 loan was taken out in my name with my social security number, and it traces back to your IP address, Dad. You stole my identity and tried to have me institutionalized to cover it up. Emily picked up the affidavit, tore it into pieces, and dropped them on the floor. She isn't crazy. She's my auditor. Mark, you're fired. The deal is off. Just then, the doors opened and 4 FBI agents walked in. Mark collapsed, and Dale fell silent as the cuffs were put on his wrists. I didn't destroy the family, I told him as they led him away. I audited it. 3 weeks later, in my new office, I deleted the archive of threats and stolen credit records. Then I stepped out into the evening air, finally free. I had erased my past to safeguard my future. To understand how I got here, we need to go back a few days. My family was wealthy on the surface, but beneath that facade was a web of lies and fraud. My father, Dale, was a controlling man, always looking for ways to maintain the family status. My mother, Linda, was more passive, going along with Dale's schemes. Mark, my younger brother, was a gambler with big dreams but no real means to achieve them. I had changed my name from Rachel Thompson to Rachel Moore 5 years ago. I was tired of the constant disappointment and the ruined credit score. I became a forensic accountant, specializing in high-stakes corporate divorces. I was good at finding the hidden money that people tried to conceal. 2 days before the engagement signing, I was sitting in a corner office on the 42nd floor of the Thompson Logistics headquarters. The room smelled of coffee and had a high-tech vibe. Across the desk sat Emily Thompson, the CEO of the company and Mark's fiancée. Mark's financials are too perfect, she said, sliding a tablet across the desk. His startup, Mark Ventures, claims a 400% return in the third quarter. That's impossible in this market. I need a blind audit before I sign the merger agreement. She had no idea I was Mark's sister. To her, I was just a highly recommended consultant from an external agency. I picked up the tablet and scrolled through the summary. It was full of inflated assets and fake angel investors. I knew I had to take the case. I lied and said I had no conflict of interest. In reality, the conflict was all theirs. Emily granted me access to the data room, not knowing she had handed me the keys to expose the family secrets. 12 hours before the signing, I was in my apartment, surrounded by the glow of 2 monitors. On the left screen was a text from my mother. The police are outside. Don't make us do this, Rachel. Just stay home. It was a bluff, but the threat was real. They were trying to keep me away to protect their criminal activities. On the right screen, I was deep in the Thompson encrypted data room. I started by looking into Mark's startup valuation. The so-called $485,000 in liquid assets was a farce. The money had moved through a series of accounts, likely from an offshore gambling portal, and landed in Mark's account just in time for the audit. I also found that the invoices he submitted for business expenses were paid to existing companies. But the real smoking gun was the metadata of the financial statements. The author field showed Dale's name, and the creation time was 3:14 in the morning. My father was the mastermind behind the fraud. My mother sent me a photo of my packed suitcase on their porch with the caption, "We packed for you. Just get in the car." Their audacity was astonishing. They were treating me like a child while committing federal wire fraud. I saved all the evidence, but didn't send it to Emily yet. I needed Mark to sign his name to the fraud. 6 hours before the meeting, I brewed a fresh pot of coffee. I wasn't going to run away. I was going to expose them. In the closing room at the Thompson headquarters, I watched through the one-way mirror as Mark tried to get Emily to sign the merger agreement. When he slid the iPad across the table and Emily was about to sign, I whispered into her earpiece, "Wait. Ask him to email the final version to your secure server first. We need a digital timestamp." Mark hesitated, but he had to comply. As he pressed the send button, I knew the trap was set. The moment the email landed in the server, the fraud became a federal crime. And that's how I ended up in that room, exposing my family's lies and finally breaking free from their web of deceit.